Hello YouTube, Tim here, and I'm in my new studio. This is just a little area of my basement that I've set up. For now, I'm only going to be able to use it for things that don't require a lot of electricity because I don't have an outlet or an extension cord that can reach the appropriate outlets. So for the moment, I had another project that I wanted to work on, and I'm going to share that with you now. I have always, since I started putting videos up on YouTube, received numerous comments, just questions, well, just comments, people saying how happy they are, how angry they are, how all sorts of weird things, sometimes just first, odd things like that. But the most interesting ones are the questions. I've got about 5 of them right here that I thought I'd go through, and every week I'll try and pick a few questions. I answer them in the notes where people make them. I go back and I'll answer them right there. But I also wanted to go ahead and answer them here. Some people don't check the notes. Other people have the same questions, but they might not ask them. This provides a good forum for them to try and discover the answers to the questions they might not have asked or might not have even known that they wanted to know. So hopefully it'll be useful for some people. If it's not, skip it. Right now, let's start off with, I think it's Lordzilla, L-R-D-Z-I-L-L-A-H. He actually asked 2 questions. The first was, okay, I'm totally new to this. I'm super into the Magyar style bows. I've been watching your videos for a while and I'm ready to actually make a bow. Like I said, I'm looking for a Magyar style with PVC Sias, at least 55 to 60 pounds pull. Do you have any suggestions? I said, sure, not a problem at all. If I was aiming to make a bow of about 55 to 65 pounds, I'd be trying to make a bow with 1-inch pipe for starters. 3/4 inch pipe just won't get you there at a fairly traditional Magyar bow length. So stick with 1-inch pipe. Once you have the 1-inch pipe, your overall length, plan on it being somewhere between 56 and about 60 inches. That's a good range. That'll get you within the realm of 55 to about 65 pounds again. And that includes 8-inch Sias on each side. So let's assume that you make the Sias, either whatever they're made out of, wood or PVC, will be about 10 inches long with at least 2 inches inside the limbs. So take 8 inches off each side from not a very long core, but once you add in the Sias, you'll get that final good 60-ish inch length. A little bit longer, make it a little bit lighter, and a little bit shorter, of course. But the other thing that you can use to affect the draw weight will be how much reflex you put in the handle, how far forward you bend it in the handle. Traditionally, they can be pretty intensely reflexed in the handle, or at least they'll have a good bit of reflex. You don't need to put in too much, but you're aiming for about 55 to 65 pounds at, again, about 60 inches. You might want somewhere between 5 and 8 inches of reflex at the handle, between the handle and the tips. That's a good place to start. So, Lordzilla then asks, I was wanting to use PVC Sias instead of wood. Easier with the tools he has at his disposal. So, do you have any suggestions on how big or what type I should use? So again, if you're using 1-inch pipe for the body, I would use 3/4 inch pipe Sias. And you'll want at least 10 inches long. 8 inches of exposed Sia with at least 2 inches of Sia embedded in the limb to give it some place to glue onto. I like to use hot melt glue. I've tried epoxy and I haven't had very much success with that. It's cracked, shattered, and worn out after some time. So I would stick with things like hot melt or other types of glue. If you find something that works, great. Go for it. Please share. I'd love to know. And yeah, that's really all I had for you, Lordzilla. If you have any more questions or there's anything else I can help with, please ask. Relevant tutorials are, you can take a look at the Crimean Tatar bow that I made. I'll try and link to that. And that's essentially what you're looking for. It's about a 50 to 60 pound bow, and it's about 60 inches long. I deflexed it, but I also reflexed it pretty heavily in the handle. If you didn't reflex it quite so much, you wouldn't have to deflex it at all. That comes to almost exactly where Nick made a 45 pound bow that shot very fast. I made a bow that looks sort of like his banded crate. Anyway, again, link up in the corner. That was like bow 3 that I made a 1.5 or 2 years ago. So there you go. Great places to start. Thanks for asking. Another reader or viewer, please, I'm going to butcher this name, but bear with me. Afshin Nikanyanfar? Sorry, again, but Tim, maybe this is off topic, but I have a question. Which PVC pipe is better for making bows? According to your experience, is it 3/4 inch or 1 inch? I'm a total beginner. Well, Afshin, thanks for writing. Everybody starts somewhere, and there's no off-topic question here. This is what we do, PVC bows and crafting, so thanks for asking. The first thing that I can say is join us, if you can, on the Google Plus community for PVC archery and crafting. I'll put a link in the show notes down below. It's a great place. We have more than 160 people all gathering together, doing various creations and sharing whatever ideas and thoughts they have. Very cool place to be. Highly recommend you start out there. It's very welcoming for beginners, and you can learn an awful lot. I have. Well, to really answer your specific question, it depends on the draw weight that you want. If you're looking for a lighter draw weight bow, 3/4 inch pipe is the way to go. Or if you're looking for a heavy bow or a very long bow, you'll need the 1 inch pipe, because the 1 inch pipe will give you a lot more power, a lot more draw weight, that is. Not necessarily performance power, but at least it will feel appropriate. See, the actual performance of the bow is a whole nother story that we'd have to get into another time, but let's let it rest there. Light bows, 3/4 inch. Heavy or long bows, 1 inch pipe. That's about it. A reader, Sumi Suokami, again, forgive me. Tim, this is beautiful. Please tell me, how did you overcome the blurring problems with the first coat of clear lacquer? This is in reference to one of the first Turkish-style bows that I made, a beautiful red bow that I had decorated with Sharpie markers, permanent markers, metallic paint markers. I had done a beautiful floral pattern, and when I put the clear coat on, the solvents in the clear coat ended up blurring and erasing a good portion of the design. Big disaster. It was really disappointing. Unfortunately, at that point, I didn't know how to apply paint or clear coat or anything. I've learned a lot in the past year. And the answer is really, I didn't. I didn't solve the problem. I haven't overcome it. That one was destroyed, essentially. All I did was I sanded the bow down and I started again and painted it up from scratch. It was a lot of wasted effort, a shame, but it happens sometimes. And every mistake can be a learning experience, as long as we take something good from it. I do have a website. That is the next question. Do you have a website, or do you have any more videos or photos of your work? Yes, absolutely. If you click on my name, it'll take you to my channel. If you go to my channel, right on the banner where it shows me sitting there with a bow, drawing a bow, in the bottom right hand corner of it, you'll see a whole bunch of icons. One is Blogger. That's my blog, goldenhordebows.blogspot.com. I'll write that down here at the bottom of the screen. The next site you might want to see is my Flickr page. And again, I think it's flickr.com/user goldenhordebows, something like that, but I'll write that at the bottom of the screen here. And that's where I've got an almost up-to-date archive of all the pictures of various bows and weapons and creations, things that I've done. It's pretty cool. You can just browse through it and take a look at what you like, and I don't know, do whatever you do with Flickr pictures. I also have an Etsy shop, and that's on Etsy. I'll link to that again right down here at the bottom of the screen. And if you want, click on my name, and it's right down there, linked right there at the bottom right of my banner. So if you're interested in other things. But the best place to go if you're just looking to learn, talk, socialize with other people who are interested in similar things, or you want to learn more about crafting with PVC, would be the Google Plus crafting community. I really do think it's great. PVC, archery, and crafting. That's what it's called. Just search for it, or you can stop by Google Plus, go to the communities. You hit the tab in the top left and a drop-down menu comes down. Go to communities and you can browse right to it or search for it. It is fantastic. I will put a link in the show notes. Come and join us. It's a great place to be, so I highly recommend anybody just show up. Finally, Spider1G5 asked, can the PVC pipe stretch when it's heated? Absolutely, good question. When it's heated, you can not only deform the PVC, that is, like squish it, crush it, but you can stretch it. And if you stretch it too far, like taffy that you pull too far, it'll tear. You know, imagine a piece of bubble gum or something. If it's under certain conditions, it might stretch quite a bit, but it'll reach a point at which it'll just break. PVC will break, and if you really want to examine where that point is and just get an idea of it yourself, you can go ahead and heat the pipe in one spot. Just rotate the pipe, heat it around until it's very soft. Grab both sides, twist. it will crimp right there. You should be able to either tear it completely by twisting it, or twist and then pull. I've broken a number of pipes that way, not for any practical purpose, but just as an exercise. I think you'll see, and you'll be surprised how weak the PVC is in tension. That is, when you stretch it, when it's heated, not very. Thank you everyone for your questions. Again, anybody who's interested in me answering questions, especially like this online, go ahead and post them in the comments, either here below or in any of my other videos. I might miss comments, but I make a very, very good effort to go and see everyone's comment and respond to them. I'll continue to do that in line right after your comments, and I'll try and also do it to as many comments as I can do here. If you're interested, keep watching and keep asking questions. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all very much.